Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm your host, Lawrence, over at Mighty Comics Collectibles, and today, of course, is the Hot 10 Comics of the Week breakdown. Now, if you're new to this video, what I do, I take the 10 hottest comics according to the Key Collector app, and I break them down for everyone out there. I've been doing it over the past couple of years, and I gotta tell you, every week I'm surprised by what appears on this list. Now, before we get started on the video, I remind you guys, if you're not a current sub to the channel, do yourself a favor, hit that sub button. You will not regret it. I need you to do me a solid and hit that like button for me. The more likes, the more this video gets out there to comic collectors who needs help. Now, with that said, let's get into this week's breakdown. Starting us off this week is Marvel Premiere 15 and the first appearance and origin of Iron Fist. 6 copies beat the average this week with a high in a CGC 9.4, selling for $558, up 9% over the average. Next up, a CGC 9.2 sale for only $400, up 2% over the average. And lastly, a CGC 7.0 selling for $200, up 14% over the average. Iron Fist finally scores a win for the Hot 10 for the first time in 2025. Do I want to own this book? I think if I got it for cheap, I'd pick it up. Other than that, I really don't want to spend this kind of money on a kind of want to say like a B-level character. It's one of my undervalued keys I've been talking about over the past 4 or 5 years, but it's been through that time the entire way, so what's going to get it going? I'm not even sure Iron Fist showing up in the MCU is going to move this book at all. Regardless, if you can get it for cheap, I'm a buyer. If not, I'd probably be staying away. Coming in at the 9th spot this week as a mainstay on this list, it is Marvel Superhero Secret Wars number 8 and the origin of the Black Symbiote costume. This is also the second appearance of Spider-Woman Juliet Carpenter. 11 copies beat the average this week with a high in a CGC 9.6, selling for $309, up 14% over the average. Secret Wars hits the list for the 13th time in 2025. I say it all the time, a 9.8 for $500 or less with the best colors you can possibly get. Other than that, I just want to get myself a nice raw copy just to have in the collection. There are plenty of those out there for everyone. Sticking with Copper at number 8 is Punisher Limited Series number 1, the first solo series featuring the Punisher. 6 sales broke the average this week with a high in a CGC 9.8, selling for a whopping $899 and up 64% over the average. Man, that's nuts. Then we had a CGC 9.6 sale for $244, up another crazy 30% over the average. This is the third time that Punisher 1 has made the Hot 10 list in 2025. I love this cover. I love this 1 through 4 set by Mike Zack, but I'm not paying $900 for a 9.8 or $300 and change for a 9.6. Get yourself a nice raw copy, run you about $100 to $150, but only if you want to have it in your long-term collection. Finally, some Silver Age at number 7 this week is Submariner number 1, the first Namor solo series in this Silver Age. A whopping 12 copies beat the average this week with 3 sales and a 9.8, the high of the week. The biggest gainer was a sale for an incredible $7,200, but only up 5% over the average. Next up, we had 6 sales in a 9.4, with the high being $1,332, up 9% over the average. And finally, a CGC 8.0 selling for $384, up 8% over the average. Submariner makes the list for the second time in 2025. For me, I'm not a huge fan of this book, or for the matter of fact, Fantastic Four number 4. A lot of people out there are not big Submariner fans, but if you get this book for cheap, I'd be a buyer. If you have to pay up for it or pay market value, I'd be staying away. Now, here's a book that I absolutely love. At number 6 this week is Amazing Spider-Man number 121 and the Death of Gwen Stacy. There's also an iconic cover by the great John Romita Sr., my personal favorite. 6 sales broke the average this week with a high in a CGC 9.4, selling for $1,320 and up 28% over the average. Next up, we had a CGC 9.2 sale for $800, up 6% over the average. And lastly, a CGC 8.5 selling for $640, up 23% over the average. This week marks the third time that Amazing Spider-Man 121 has qualified for the Hot 10 list. Now, with that said, if you're not a big Spidey guy, I don't know if I go out there and buy this book. However, I will say this is a double key, iconic storyline, and an amazing cover. I consider those both keys. Now, with that said, like I said before, if you're not a Spidey guy, maybe you want to put that money elsewhere. But me being a Spidey guy, I have to go ahead and buy this book. An iconic yellow cover. To me, it's a no-brainer. Speaking of Spider-Man, at number 5 is Amazing Spider-Man number 4 and the first appearance in Origin of the Sandman. 5 sales broke the average this week with a high in a CGC 7.0, selling for $3,800, up 7% over the average. Next up, we had a CGC 6.5 sale for $2,800, up 3% over the average. And finally, a CGC 5.5 selling for $2,850, but get this, up 37% over the average. This is the first time in 2025 that the Sandman has made the Hot 10 list. Now, with that said, this is one of the best Spider-Man villains and best Spider-Man covers from the early Silver Age. I always want to own these great first appearances of these iconic villains. So you know me, yes, 100% I'm a buyer. Just get the grade you want for the long term in your collection. Now how about some modern? At number 4 this week is Something is Killing the Children number 1, the first appearance of Erica Slaughter. 9 copies beat the average this week and 3 in a 9.8, with the high sale being $795 and up 14% over the average. Now if you think this book is going to go somewhere 20 years down the line, I'm going to say go ahead and buy it. If not, I'd probably be staying away. With that said, I only want to own a 9.8. I don't want to own any other grade besides that. To me, all these modern books, that's all you can buy, and that's all anybody wants. Back to Spider-Man and back to a book that has been on this list forever. It is Amazing Spider-Man number 300 and the first full appearance of Venom. This is also an iconic cover by the Todd father, Todd McFarlane. 9 sales beat the average this week with a high in a CGC 9.8, selling for $2,600 and only up 2% over the average. This week marks the 22nd time out of 38 that Venom has made the Hot 10 list. This book is always incredibly hot because there are a million copies out there. I'm not saying you shouldn't own it. You guys know 100% you have to own this book. I'm a Spidey guy. But with that said, why go out and get a 9.8, $2,600? This book is still coming down in my opinion. You got to own it, 9.2, 9.4 if you want graded, or get yourself a nice high-grade raw copy. To me, that is always a good deal. Finally, some DC at number 2. It's Batman number 423 and this classic cover by, again, Todd McFarlane. We all know about the original art that is now up for sale on Heritage Auctions, and it's pushing prices higher for this one. 9 sales beat the average this week with a high in a CGC 9.8, selling for $1,655 and up 1% over the average. Next up, a CGC 9.6 sale for only $425, up 3% over the average. And finally, a CGC 9.2 for only $230 and up 1% over the average. I've always loved this cover, one of Todd's best, especially when we're talking Batman. But with that said, I'm not paying $1,700 for a 9.8. I don't see the value. 9.6, $400. If that's your thing, go ahead. But I gotta warn you, a lot of collectors out there, they want a 9.8 or bust. To me, nice high-grade raw copy for $200. I'd be socking that away just to have this iconic cover in my collection. And finally, at the top spot, this book is back on top, not going away. They cannot kill him. It is Amazing Spider-Man number 129 and the first appearance of the Punisher, Frank Castle. This is also the first appearance of the Jackal and an iconic cover by John Romita Sr. and Gil Kane. 10 sales broke the average this week with a high in a CGC 9.6, selling for a crazy $6,301, up 7% over the average. Next up, we had a CGC 8.5 sale for $2,100, up 5% over the average. And lastly, a CGC 8.0 selling for $1,957, up 5% over the average. This week marks the 30th out of 38 weeks that the Punisher has made the Hot 10 list, and its 10th time at the top spot. Absolutely remarkable. If we analyze the average sale and the most abundant grade, which is an 8.0, we can see every 5 years how significant the boom affected the value. In 2005, an 8.0 was only $250. In 2010, an 8.0 was $357. In 2015, $733. In 2020, the height of COVID and the height of mass hysteria, $1,357. Guess what? 2025, the book is now $1,885. Constantly going up. Maybe that's why this book is so incredibly hot. I don't know. Regardless, to me, you guys know you have to own it. One of the best Spider-Man covers ever. One of the best characters ever from Marvel. To me, it's a must own. Hope you guys enjoyed another week, another list, a lot of great books, but it is now time for what I call my best buy of the week, and it's an easy one for me. It's Amazing Spider-Man number 4. When there's Silver Age Spider-Man on this list and it's a major villain or a major key, I'm 9 times out of 10 gonna pick that book. Not enough is talked about these villains, not enough is talked about these Silver Age Amazing Spider-Man keys. I know they're abundant, but they're highly desirable, and that's why, to me, I always pick them up. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics Collectibles saying thank you for watching, happy collecting, and I'll talk to you guys soon.